Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 30th ever Highlight Haven interview. My name is Matthew Heiserman, and today we are joined by JMU linebacker Jacob Dobbs. Jacob, it's great to have you on.
Thank you for having me on today, Matthew. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's get right into it. I just want to start by asking when you first knew that you wanted to play football.
Yeah, I think that happened pretty early. I think my parents would say the same thing. I was always, really happy and eager to go to football practice. I had to be the first person at football practice, whereas, baseball, basketball, some other sports, especially baseball, I was like, I don't want to go to baseball practice. I don't want to do, hitting off the tee, all this other stuff. So, really, for me, football's always kind of been my thing, even since I was a little guy. So, I've always loved going to practice, always loved the process. So, that definitely, probably from a very young age, I knew this was for me.
Now, when you started playing football, were you always a linebacker, or did you not have a designated position at that point?
No, I've played pretty much every position on the football field. I was a quarterback through youth football. I really wanted to be, a quarterback. I thought I was going to be a college quarterback when I was 10 years old. I had the dream of playing quarterback at the University of Michigan. Change an incredible journey. A lot of positions, including school. I played safety as well as linebacker, and even played some tight end as well as fullback, slot. Like I've played a lot of different positions, which has been a lot of fun on this football journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you transferred to JMU after spending 5 seasons at Holy Cross from 2019 to 2023. During those 5 seasons with the Crusaders, you amassed a total of 432 tackles, 46.5 tackles for loss, 22 and a half sacks, 4 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles, and 4 fumble recoveries. Was there a specific moment when you knew that you wanted to transfer to JMU?
Yeah, the second Coach Chesney took the job at JMU, so he got the job, and I was already in the transfer portal because I was out of eligibility at Holy Cross. So Holy Cross is a liberal arts college, so it's only a 4-year program. So there's no grad school there, so you can play a maximum of 5 seasons at Holy Cross. And so after my 5th season, after I had already picked up an extra undergrad concentration to stay at Holy Cross for a 5th season, I couldn't go back. So I was already in the portal. And then once Coach Chesney got the job and there was an opportunity to fill a void at linebacker, I hopped on it as soon as I could, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah, now when you were in the transfer portal, were you at all thinking of Holy Cross before Chesney, or were you thinking of JMU before Chesney ended up going there, or was that kind of all decided once he went there?
No, that was definitely decided once he went there. He kind of had some rumblings about different job opportunities and stuff,
Mhm.
and I really knew that I was gonna basically follow him wherever he went, as long as the situation was right, and it was right at JMU, and so I was fortunate enough to follow him there.
Yeah, before he went there, were there any other schools that you were looking at as your top option?
Yeah, I kind of knew what I was in the portal for. It was really I was either going to declare for the NFL draft, follow coach, or if there was a really cool opportunity at a Power Five school that I thought was a good fit and I could get on the field and play, I was going to do that. But I heard from numerous Power Five schools, Power Four schools, I guess now, and definitely had some opportunities to do other things. But I knew the best situation for me would be to stay with Coach Ches and the majority of the staff that was going to be down there, and then meeting some of the guys at JMU on the official visit, I knew, that was the perfect place to be.
Yeah, and with Holy Cross being an FCS school, what would you say was the biggest challenge this season transitioning from the FCS to the FBS?
Yeah, I just think that I was fortunate enough to play against some really good competition, the FCS level, and especially our practices. We had on our offensive line at Holy Cross there. So Mert, who is our starting right tackle, is now at JMU. He's the first team. He's a first team All Sun Belt guy. He's the only first team All Sun Belt player returning in the conference. He's one of the best group of 5 offensive linemen in the country. Then we had another offensive guard, CJ Hansen, who's now in the NFL with the Kansas City Chiefs, was drafted in the 7th round. Our center, Christo Kelly, is now on the North Carolina Tar Heels. Our other guard, Eric Schoen, went to Duke. Our other tackle was an All Big Ten honoree this year at Michigan State. Jalen Coker was one of the best rookie receivers
Yeah.
under at the age in the Carolina Panthers. So I wouldn't really say that there was a struggle transitioning from the FCS to the FBS because I went against the best every single day. And, Matt Sluka, who is now at JMU, one of my very good friends, he was the quarterback that I go against every single day. So you could kind of imagine when you're going against that offense every single day, there was no jump for me. I'm just going to be completely honest. We had a generational team at Holy Cross, and I was prepared by those guys every single day to, make this jump to this level. There was really no jump. I would just say in terms of FCS to FBS, some of the differences, there's just more scholarships. There's more guys who can run. There's just, more depth of, those high talented, high football, ability guys. But other than that, it's pretty standard practice for me, just making the jump.
Yeah, obviously more opportunities at the higher level. And Bob Chesney has been your head coach throughout your entire college career, as you mentioned, both at Holy Cross and JMU. Have you noticed any coaches in his, or any changes in his coaching style throughout the years?
Absolutely not. He's true to who he is. He's a player's coach. He's one of the best people you'll ever interact with and be around. And, he's a true player's coach. So he doesn't change. He believes in, allowing us as players to, really control and have a lot of say in what happens with the team. And from a schematic and coaching standpoint, he's aggressive. I think he's one of the best in the business in terms of how much we focus on special teams and some of the gambles he takes. It's really easy to play for a guy like that that's so aggressive from a coaching philosophy, and he's just such a player's coach. I mean, you want to strap it up and, hit someone every single day for that guy. He's the best in the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And during your freshman season in 2019, in your second to last game of the year against Georgetown, you had one sack as well as two interceptions, one of which was returned for a 56-yard touchdown. Do you still remember that moment? And if so, what was going through your mind during that entire game?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes a freshman, it's better to be lucky than good. And we were playing a certain coverage. We called it, I'm not even going to say what we call it just in case, they're still using the terminology. But, basically, I was supposed to be the contain on the quarterback when he broke the pocket, and I ended up not being. And so Liam Anderson, who's now on the practice squad for the Colts, another guy who's in the NFL that from Holy Cross, wrapped and ended up being the second contain. I just kind of dropped. Quarterback threw it right to me. I got a few good blocks and, made a play with the ball in my hand. But I really didn't have to do much. I kind of, MA'd, misassignment into a, huge play. So, sometimes things go your way. And, when you play hard, run to the ball, good things happen.
Yeah, in the right place at the right time is, a good way to describe that one, of course. And you suffered an injury this season against Southern Mississippi on October 26th. This injury kept you out for the remainder of the regular season. How are you able to contribute to the team throughout the final four games of the season despite not being able to make it onto the field?
Yeah, I mean, I just try to be a coach from the sideline. I'm very locked into the game. I'll tell our linebacker coach, Coach Sparber, exactly what I'm seeing, kind of, what I feel like the offense is doing schematically. And, I just took it as an opportunity for me to grow as a football player and put a coaching cap on for a little bit. And, if the guys in the field needed anything from me, in terms of what I was seeing or, some of my feelings about, what the offense was doing, I try to help. And most importantly, I just wanted to be a good teammate and, give some juice to the sideline and, cheer my back off for these guys and, hope that, they could go out there every week and execute at a high level and just be a big cheerleader for them.
Yeah, and you did suffer some injuries at Holy Cross. Would you say that those made, I guess, the rehab for this one a little easier?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you go through an injury, I think, it develops a callus on your brain and, it allows you to understand kind of what you're about to embark on and what you're going to go through. And, I love this game and, it's a violent game. Bad things are going to probably happen to you. You're going to get hurt. And it's about, how you respond and, just getting back to work in the training room and doing everything you can to, get healthy as quick as possible. But it's about being patient too and, having humility and, patience, through the process.
Yeah, and just over a month ago, JMU beat Western Kentucky in the Boca Raton Bowl, winning their first bowl game in program history. What was that experience like for you?
I mean, it was an unforgettable experience. First time ever being able to play in a bowl game, and being able to be out there with a lot of guys who sacrificed a lot for JMU, went through that transition period of not being able to play in a bowl game to getting into a bowl game last year to losing it and to finally, winning that first bowl game in school history will always be a part of history with, that football program. That 2024 team will be, because we will be the first team to have ever won a bowl game. And, you know, I don't think that anybody's really satisfied with 9-4. I mean, if you ask a lot of people in the country, they'll take 9-4 every single year. To win 9 games at the FBS level is an extremely big accomplishment. But we have different standards at JMU. We didn't really compete for a conference championship towards the end of the season, and those guys will do that this year. But it was an unforgettable experience to win that first bowl game.
Yeah, and obviously, the bowl game was your first game back in just under 2 months. At that point, were you fully healthy, or were you still playing through some pain?
No, I basically played on one leg in that game. I battled through it. I found a way to play. I kind of, in my head, knew that, this is a very real shot. This could be my last football game. I hope it's not my last football game, but I wanted to get out there and, for myself, selfishly, and just play football again, just in case I didn't get an opportunity after the fact. And, for the team, too, I wanted to be out there. And even if it was to line the defense up and just fight through it for a little bit and do as much as I can out there and, be able to, help us win that game. That's kind of where my head was at with that. But, I was fortunate enough to get healthy enough to function out there and play at a, pretty high level. So, shout out to the, training staff and everybody for, helping me get through that and get back out there.
Yeah, and on December 31st, you officially declared for the 2025 NFL Draft. Can you just describe what the pre-draft process has been like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down in Miami, Florida right now, living in an Airbnb, training at Bommarito Performance Systems, which is a pretty solid pre-draft process training site. There's a lot of great guys here who've come from the higher levels, and will be some high-profile draft picks. So really looking forward to the opportunity to work with them every single day and continue to get fast and put my body in the best position possible to execute all those drills right before the draft to make sure that I show my athleticism and my ability to run and move and do all those sorts of things that help solidify what the scouts see on film.
Yeah, and some other JMU players who declared for the 2025 NFL Draft include Ryan Hansen, Kyrie Mans, and Taylor Thompson. Have you been able to work with any of those guys throughout the pre-draft process?
No, I'm the only one down here, but I've been in contact with those guys,
Yeah.
especially Kyrie. He called me one of the first weeks I've been down here, and it's just really cool to see your brothers who've worked so hard, all get this opportunity, and I'm really excited for each one of those guys to get their shot to continue to play this thing at the next level and the highest level.
Yeah, and going back to your injury during the regular season, has that affected your preparation for the draft in any way?
Not so far. I would say I'm fully healthy. I'm running very well, running very fast, in my opinion, and hope I can continue to build off of that, continue to get better every single day, and put my body in the best physical shape possible to execute all those drills come March.
Yeah, and we've talked about some of the great Holy Cross players that you've been able to play with. This past season with the Dukes, you got to play with former Holy Cross teammates such as Terrence Spence and Tyler Purdy, just to name a few. How would you describe the connections that you've been able to build with those guys over the past few years?
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Purdy's, one of my best friends in the whole world. I've roomed with him for the last 5 years now, so I'm pretty close with Tyler. That's my guy. It's one of my best friends, my brother. To be able to play football with people you love and people who are really good people and your close friends, it's a really special bond and experience to be able to share those moments on the field with them. And then, Terrence, a guy that I've watched, grow up at Holy Cross and come in as a freshman and play special teams and do everything the right way. And then he comes and makes this jump and just sees every opportunity he gets. And then, of course, Big Mert, who's going to be back at JMU for a seventh year. Those guys are some of my best friends. And, I'm very fortunate to have good people like them in my life.
I also want to talk about JMU's new director of athletic performance, Chris Grotzky. Of course, Grotzky spent 7 seasons with Holy Cross from 2018 to 2024. You've called Grotzky the best strength coach in the entire nation. Can you just explain the relationship you've been able to build with him over the last 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of my best friends in the world now too. He is truly special at what he does. I mean, when I say he's the best strength coach in the country, it's not to just blow smoke up his chimney, but I mean, he is the best strength coach in the country. Like the fact that, it ended up working out where he's down here now is the best thing that could have happened to James Madison football. He's going to transform people's bodies. He's going to get people in the right shape. He's going to make sure the team's strong and, finish his games in the third and fourth quarter. And, the second half differential that I think Coach Kratzy's had as a strength coach. And it's obviously not just him, it's players, it's coaches.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that go into it. But just looking at kind of his track record, he's unbelievable at what he does. And I'm extremely excited for his opportunity to lead that and, develop these guys in the weight room and, conditioning wise on the field. And it's going to be a very scary football team next year.
Yeah, now recently it was announced that you made the All Sun Belt defensive second team along with JMU safety Jacob Thomas and defensive lineman Kyrie Mans, who I mentioned earlier. What does that accolade mean to you?
I mean, it's a team award. We had the
Yeah.
best defense in the Sun Belt, one of the best defense in the country, and I was fortunate enough to start on it, and you get rewarded for team success. So it means a lot to me though to be able to see all of us who've contributed so much to that defense and sacrificed a lot to learn it and execute it at a high level, as well as give back to the coaches who spend all the time, because the coaches really they're not going to get those honors, those kinds of things that players get for making the plays, but they're the ones down and up behind the scenes and putting us in the right spots. So to be able to give back to them and show them how great of coaches they are, because it takes everybody. You're not doing it on your own. So, I'm just, proud to represent JMU and that coaching staff in the right way and to be able to get that kind of recognition.
Yeah, 100%. With that being said, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to say to the people watching before we wrap things up?
I got nothing. I just know that JMU football will be a problem next year for a lot of teams, and I'm excited to, be a fan with all of you guys. But thank you for having me on, Matthew. It was a pleasure.
And of course, best of luck for the rest of your football career. Again, big thanks to Jacob Dobbs for being the 30th ever Highlight Haven interview guest. And as always, we will see you next time.